Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're going to show you some changes that are happening in my garden. Now, in last week's video, I did give you a sneak peek on what is happening with my garden beds, but let's go through what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and show you some of the changes that are so exciting for me. Now, I have 3 different areas where I grow produce. I produce almost everything that I eat with fruits and vegetables during the year. But if you watched last week's video, you will probably know that this year I will not be having the same amount of fruit I had as last year because of the temperamental weather that we've had, and it reduced my fruit production by probably 80%. That's not 80% per tree, it's 80% of all the fruit that I grow on my property is actually going to bear something. So anyway, that's not affecting my garden beds. Let's go through all of my different areas and what I have there. Now, these are the beds on the south side of my property. It is both the warmest and the coldest area on my property. If you look around, you can see that we kind of have a straight shot all the way up to the mountains. There are a few houses in the way, but not too many. And in the evening, you could feel the cold air just rushing down this hill. And then it pools down here because we are completely surrounded by fences and houses. We have my neighbor's house up here, my house down here. So the reflected heat during the day keeps this place very warm, but at night is actually the coldest area on my property. And I know that because I have 3 temperature sensors all over my property. But because it's so warm and because I'm able to cover these beds in plastic, it makes the perfect area to grow winter produce. Now, when I say perfect, there are some problems, and that comes with the temperature swings. This year we had an extremely unusually, well, I guess that's bad English, but it was a very, very unusual March where we had temperatures in the 80s and in the 60s at night, and that caused all of my cabbage and all of my kohlrabi that I grew over here to bolt. I probably should have removed the plastic and put frost cloth over the top, but putting the plastic on it is a time-consuming process, and I just didn't know when the cold weather would return, and it did return. We went from the 80s all the way down to 23 degrees. And, you know, it was weeks of 80s, like 4, maybe even 5 weeks of 80-degree temperatures, and then down to 23, and now we're in seasonable temperatures. But that made me lose all of the produce on this side of my property. But normally it does just fine, and this is where I grow a lot of my winter crops, and because it's the warmest area, I also grow my tomatoes over here. Now, because this area of my property is also at the bottom of the hill, and I don't have any of these beds covered, it does make it a little difficult to grow the winter crops through here. I've tried it several times, even with covers, and they don't do as well as on the south side of my property. But I had 2 concrete beds that were the first beds that I had put in here on flanking these metal raised beds, and I decided to move those to the top of my hill where I have all my other concrete raised beds, and we're going to put some more raised metal beds down here. But let's first take you up to the top of my property and show you the concrete beds. Now, this is my hillside that I first put garden beds on, and I had 7 of these raised concrete beds. I love growing food over the winter on this hillside because it's facing west. It does also have south exposure, and believe it or not, this slatted fence actually gives them protection over the winter. So crops grow really, really well over the winter here. But I also use it for my early spring crops. So all 7 beds are planted right now. We have cabbage and kohlrabi, onions, garlic, cauliflower, and broccoli up here. So one of the concrete beds that was down below, I had him bring up the blocks and make these beds double high. I had 2 beds, these 2 right here, that were already double high. It was an experiment to see if it made a difference. It makes a slight difference, not too much, but I have them double raised bed anyway. So I had the one raised bed that's missing down there was moved up to the top up here. So that's already in. And like I said, the other block beds, the tops or the blocks got put on top of these. So now I have 5 of them that are double high and 3 that are single high. In this one we have shallots and turnips and a few carrots, but the quail, my beautiful little quail buddies, found this open area, and I need to get more straw so I can cover it, but they decided to dust bathe in the middle of my carrots. We've also got peas in this one. We had Chinese mountain yam, but the frost seemed to have killed these completely back. I don't know if they're going to grow again. We'll just have to wait and see. And then this is my new bed. I've got to actually, well, new old bed. I've actually got to go get some more soil to put in this one. Now we are still very early in the year for Utah, and I am not ready to plant yet, but we are going to get these beds put together so that we will be ready when it's time. Now I have been an affiliate with Vego Gardens several times. We've done a raised metal bed, we've done a citrus planter, and now we're going to do their raised metal garden beds. Now I've got two of them. I purchased one and they provided the other one. They're going to be approximately the same color as the ones that I already have here. They might be a little bit different because they're a different variety. But this one's going to be a pearl white. We have another pearl white, 17 inches tall, and it's a 10-in-1. So this should be, if I remember correctly, 3.5 feet wide by 6 feet long, or maybe it's 8 feet long and 4 feet wide. I'll have to put the dimensions on the screen for you because they had several different varieties, but this one is the extra large one. And we're going to see if we're going to put two beds in here or if we're going to put them all together and make one large bed. We're going to see if that's a possibility. So we got all of these unboxed. We've got the corner pieces right here for both sets. We've got the end pieces, which are shorter. And then we've got the side pieces. Well, actually, these are the end pieces. And then the side pieces. We've also got some bars to give strength in the center. And we've got all the nuts and bolts to put it together. So I'm going to get all of the plastic pulled off this off camera and start working with some configurations and see how I want to put it all together. Okay, well that took about 2 hours and I'm exhausted and a little bit of a mess, but tomorrow we're going to get some heavy rain, so I wanted to just show you what I finished today, and then we'll do the soil and the irrigation on another video. So let me show you what these beds look like, talk a little bit about them, and tell you why I like them. Now the beds, I did get the extra large ones, and they were larger than I thought, so it worked out perfectly. I absolutely love it. I was able to get both sides done, and they were the size that I wanted. And both sides are just a little bit different size. Let me show you all the different configurations you can do on these beds. So this is a little squished up, so it's a little wrinkly, but look at all the configurations you can do, and you can actually probably do more if you had more than one bed. This has 10 different configurations. You can see the different sizes, and it's because you have all those little panels on it. You have the corner pieces, you have shorter panels, and you have longer panels. Let me show you how I configured mine. Now, I tried a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different sizes. I tried putting them all together, and that was just way too big. And with both beds, every panel in there, you couldn't fit the bars to brace the beds. And I think the bars are really important because soil can be heavy, and if it pushes the beds out, I think it'll ruin the integrity of the beds, and it will just not look as good. So we were able to get the bars in both sides. And on this one, what I ended up doing is the two shorter panels that I could have put on the ends, I put two short and one long panel on each side of this one. Now, I don't know exactly what size this makes it, but I know it's 4 feet wide because the poles are for a 4 foot wide bed. So I think this one is probably 4 by 8. And this one's probably 4'9" or 4'9.5". Because we got 4 of the large panels with each bed, and I only used 2 on the other one, I was able to take the extras from the other bed and put them on this one. So this bed has 3 of the longer panels on each side rather than 2 short and a long. And it was exactly perfect, a perfect size for this bed. I mean, we couldn't have gotten much more perfect. I will need to add a little bit more soil after these plants have finished growing. And that's it. We can use the irrigation that I already have in here and it will be great. I will need to extend the length where it's connected down there because it's a little short, but it's perfect. I absolutely love it. Now, another thing I wanted to show you, which goes against everything I really like to do, is I decided I needed to put some weed mat down at the bottom of this bed. Now, I'm not putting it down to control weeds or to keep bad soil out. What I'm doing it for is, see all these roots? These roots come from my spruce trees, my globe blue spruce and these spruce trees. Now, this bed has been so full of roots in the past that I have to use a pickaxe every other year just to get through it and to pull all the roots out. So I'm hoping that by putting down this weed mat, we will be able to control the roots a little bit better. We've also started the irrigation here. We're going to finish it in a different video, but this is what it looks like when I start it. It's connected to a line over here, which is a line for the garden bed. I've buried it so I don't trip on it. It's got a little elbow down there so it can come up into the bed. We had to lengthen, so this is the line that I used in my block bed, but we had to lengthen it because this bed's a little bit deeper, and that's what we're going to connect everything to. Okay, dang it, I was hurrying too fast and got that in wrong. What we needed to do is have that shutoff valve before this T. So I'm going to have to redo that, but that's okay. We can redo that on the next video. Now, these beds are coated with a special material. I'm not exactly sure what that material is, but they're coated so that they'll last at least 20 years. So they won't rust, and they won't decompose. And that is why I like these raised metal beds, is they are a little bit expensive to start with, but I am never going to have to replace them as long as I live here, and probably as long as I'm gardening. And they look gorgeous. They are also an excellent depth for your plants, and they are easy to put together. It did take me a couple of hours, but that's because I fiddled around a lot with the configurations, trying to figure out how I wanted to do it. But they're not hard to put together. And as you saw, I was able to put it together and then put it on top of my other bed. If I ever decide to move, it would be easy to take them apart and move them. And I really love these Vego raised metal beds. And Vego has been really easy to work with. I've really enjoyed working with them. Now, I will include a discount down below and a link so that you can go look at what they have. They have a lot of wonderful things. They also have trellises for these beds. Like I said earlier in the video, I have a rolling citrus planter that I can use both inside and outside for my citrus trees. And I have an elevated bed that is wonderful for older people like me who don't like to lean. And I'm not going to show you how I walk right now because 2 hours of leaning over for an older woman was a little painful. But anyway, I would love to hear if you have any questions about these beds, if you have used raised metal beds and what you like about them. And hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.